Hi guys, James at RampantLionReviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to head over to America once again, and we're going to revisit a brewery that I've never done a dedicated review to. So all the reviews I've had from this brewery before have been collaboration beers, two of them with Amar Brewing, and I forget who the other one was with again. But for this one we're going to do my first dedicated review to Cigar Brewing, who are from Tampa over in Florida. And this one is their White Oak High Alai IPA, which comes in at 7.5%. So this one is basically a barrel-aged version of the regular High Alai, which I've never tried actually. And that's one that I really do need to get around to trying at some point, because I've heard it is pretty good and it's become a lot more widely available recently. So really looking forward to this one, and as always I hope you guys enjoy my take on this beer. Incidentally, this was another one of the beers that came through the small partiers in Systembolaget here in Sweden on the 19th of October 2018, and I've heard that this is a pretty damn good beer. So looking forward to it, and as always I hope you guys enjoy my take on this one. So anyway, as is usual with my reviews then, I'll tell you a little bit about the brewery. If you want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward. All the usual links are in the description below. That's the brewery website, link to my other reviews that I've done from Cigar City Brewing before. No doubt I will add some more in the near future. Like I said, their beers are a lot more widely available now than they were before. There's all the usual social media. If you want to see more beer reviews, do please consider subscribing to the channel. The whole channel of course has a geography based tagging system, so you can go into the home page and search for beer based on country, city, state, county, prefecture, whatever it is you're interested in. Do check out the playlist of beers from different countries. There is one there for all the American beers that I've reviewed for you. That's constantly being added to, and as always please do get in touch and let me know some of the other beers and breweries that you guys would like to see me review. It's always great to hear from you guys that are watching the videos, and the support that you show the channel is hugely appreciated. So anyway, to tell you a little bit about Cigar City Brewing then. So as I mentioned to you earlier, Cigar City Brewing is based in Tampa, Florida, and they were founded back in 2007 by Joey Redner, who had previously worked for Dunedin Brewing and also as a beer writer for the Tampa Bay Times. So he hired Wayne Wombos as his brewmaster back in 2008, and the brewery produced their first beers in January of 2009. But the brewery are particularly well known for their Hanafu Imperial Stout, and they also host a beer festival every March to celebrate its release. And the base beer for this, of course, is the Marshall Zhukov's Imperial Stout, which is supposed to be an absolute beast of a beer, and that's one that I really do hope I can get a hold of at some point soon. But as of March 2016, Cigar City are in a partnership with Oscar Blues from Colorado, from Longmont in Colorado, and the reason for this partnership was basically that Joey wanted to expand the capacity of the brewery, but he didn't want to have to kind of borrow any money to do this. So their own facility that they have in Tampa has an output of around 60 BBLs, but they contract brew at various other facilities such as Brew Hub. But this has changed a little bit, of course, since they've gone into partnership with Oscar Blues, who are of course a very good craft brewery within their own right. So this has actually helped Cigar City Brewing. It's actually helped them expand quite a lot, and from what I understand, Oscar Blues do have a kind of holding company that it sort of owns shares in a lot of these different breweries. There's a couple of different breweries in that holding company that Oscar Blues own, and Cigar City Brewing Company are of course one of these companies. But it's helped them expand quite a lot. Their beer has become a lot more widely available in Europe, and like I say, hopefully I can review a few more other things over the next little while. But this was one of the small partiers that came through Systembolaget here in Sweden on the 19th of October 2018. So I thought it would be cool to pick this one up and have a go at it, because I've heard the regular High Alai is really nice, and you know, this one's a little bit stronger, so I'm sure, you know, being Scottish I will enjoy that even more. But yeah, that's all you really need to know about Cigar City Brewing just now, and we'll get on to the tasting. If you want to learn a little bit more, check out the brewery website, and you can follow them on Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that. So this one is a 7.5% oak barrel aged IPA. It's hopped with Amarillo, Simcoe, Cascade, Motueka, Centennial, and also the CTZ. The CTZ combination, which if I'm remembering rightly is Columbus, Tomahawk and Zeus. I think it's a combination of all three of those hops. But yeah, 7.5% barrel aged IPA. You don't get too many barrel aged IPAs these days, but there have been, you know, there have been one or two. The last one I had was actually the what was it called? The Barrel Runner, I think it was, from Founders Brewing Company, and that's the one beer I've had from Founders that I haven't been all that impressed with. So hopefully this one from Cigar City Brewing is actually better. But yeah, I'll let you have a little look at the artwork on this one. I'll turn the brewery notes off just now, but there you can see it, nicely presented beer, this one. You can see the sort of oak, you can see the hop flowers up there on the plant, someone kind of cutting them down by the looks of it. It says here, our unique oak-aged IPA marries the tropical profile of High Alai IPA with notes of coconut and vanilla contributed by white oak. Rustic wood notes abound, adding further dimension to our citrusy India Paleo. 7.5%, but yeah, nicely presented. There is the Cigar City Brewing symbol on the bottom of the can there. I always quite like that, and you can see they've also got this symbol on the back of the cans as well, but 7.5%. This one is imported into Sweden by great brands all bay, so yeah, should be a nice beer this. So without further ado, let's get it out and we'll get on with the tasting then. Really curious to see how this one turns out actually, so yeah. Ooh, that's quite a bit darker than I was expecting, but you can smell some of the lovely fruit from this beer as you open it up. You can smell the oranges and some passion fruits and lemony notes to this already. You know, from the Amarillo you should get some nice oranges. From the Simcoe you'll get passion fruit, and it's the passion fruit that's coming out of this quite a bit. And you know, from the likes of Matuika and Centennial you will get some nice lemony notes. But that's a lovely looking beer, that. If I hold that up to the light, it's got a nice kind of almost blood orangey colour to it. There's a solid finger of a frothy white head there. It's got a little bit of haze to it. There are a couple of bits of sediment floating around, and that unfortunately is one of the things when it comes to importing American beer. It will sit there for a few good weeks. It's quite hard to get it very, very fresh over here. But one or two big bubbles sticking towards the side of the glass, quite a few little ones heading up towards the bottom of that head there. If I stick my fingers behind the glass, you can see there is a degree of transparency to this beer, but mainly it is fairly opaque. But whether it's opaque naturally, I'm not too sure. It may well just be because it has been sitting for a little bit before they've sold it in the shop. So that's one thing, as I've said in other reviews of American beers. Systembolag and the likes of Wicked Wines and great brands, they really need to work together to get these beers into the shops a little bit fresher, because that's one of the problem things when it comes to drinking the hop forward beers. It's not such a big problem with the malt forward beers, bringing them over into Sweden, but obviously you can't, with Systembolag, with the state monopolies, you can't sell them as quickly just because of all the rules and stuff that we have here. So yeah, bit of a catch-22. But when you're moving this beer around, you can smell some of the lovely fruits coming out of this beer. But let's just take a closer look at it and see how we get on with this one. Yeah. So with this beer, again, I think it's not at its freshest, and that's one of the problems. But yeah, we'll see how we get on with it anyway. So underneath you can smell there's a nice caramelly note to this. Definitely a nice little bit of caramel in there. It's got a little bit of a bready presence too, and you can pick out some of the woody. You can pick out some of the woody and vanilla notes to this. Not getting so much in the way of coconut right enough, but yeah. But it has kind of what you would expect from an IPA, some nice caramelly notes, a little bit of biscuit, a little bit of a bready quality to it as well. And like I was saying, there is a bit of a kind of oaky, woody, vanilla sort of thing to this beer. But yeah, pretty much what you would expect from the malt base. On the hoppy side of things, there's a little touch of earthiness to this one, but you can smell some floral and grassy components, which again is what you would expect. In terms of the fruity side of the beer, like I was saying, when you pull this beer out, you can pick up the oranges, which will be from the Amarillo. Yeah, definitely a little bit of orange in there, but as I say, this beer I don't think is quite as juicy as you would normally expect. That said, when it's aged in barrels for a little bit, that will affect the flavour to some degree. But yeah, a little bit of orangey note coming out of this one, which I think will mix nice with these woody notes that the beer has. Bit of passion fruit, which will be from the Simcoe. Simcoe's a straight up passion fruit hop. And there's a wee bit, you can pick up a little bit of the grapefruit, and that'll be the Cascade, but that's quite minimal. The Cascade, I think, is only a 7.5–8% sort of alpha acid hop, so it's nowhere near as high in alpha acid, I think, as the other aroma hops they've got in this one. You know, the likes of Matuika, Simcoe, Amarillo, they're all kind of around the 10–11% mark, if I'm remembering correctly, in terms of alpha acid. And I think Centennial's up. Something tells me that Centennial is a way up in the kind of 11, over 11 actually. But yeah, definitely a good bit of lemony citrus from this one, and that'll be the Matuika and the Centennial, giving you that. Oranges from the Amarillo, like I was saying. And yeah, definitely a bit of passion fruit from the Simcoe, but it does smell pretty nice actually, and that's one of the things, you know, I'm saying a little bit about the hoppy and bitterness and things like that. When this one is a barrel aged IPA, it's not going to be quite as forward in the hops, I think, as a fresh IPA is going to be, and that's, you know, that's fair enough. But the issue we have in Sweden, a little bit like I say, is that the importers, mainly great brands and wicked wines, it takes them, I think they import the beer quite a bit in advance, when it should be, you know, either there should be something there where Systembolaget and great brands are planning so that there's a smaller crossover time, if you like, so they can get the beer out there fresher. But before, we've not even tasted this one yet, so we'll see how we get on with this one. But this is one of the problems that you get in Sweden with IPAs, with American IPAs being imported into the country. But let's have a taste of this one then. So this one is the white oak version of the Alai IPA from Cigar City Brewing in Tampa in Florida over in America. Let's get stuck into this one then. Sláinte, skål. Yeah, no, I would say with this one is fairly fresh. It's not as fresh as it could be, but it is still fairly fresh, and you can get a lot of the nice flavours out of this one. So I think with this one, you know, it's one of the better ones, one of the more better conditioned ones, I guess you could say. But yeah, this one has a really kind of interesting fusions of things. The way that the woody quality in this comes out is very interesting. The malt base is really interesting in this beer. Of course, it's not got that big hoppy kick to it in some ways that you would expect from some of the other beers. But what it does very nicely actually. So yeah, in terms of the malt base of this one then, so you could feel there is a nice little bit of that kind of bready quality that just blankets the middle of your tongue. On top of that, you start to get a little bit more of a grainy note. There is a kind of grainy quality comes out of this beer as you go further and further into the aftertaste. But right in the middle of your palate, you've got a nice little bit of a sweet kind of caramelly note to this one, and as you go further out from that, it becomes gradually a little bit more biscuity, but the sweet caramel is right in the middle of your palate there, which is good. Yeah, when you move further into the aftertaste of this one, it just kind of smooths out a little bit, and that's when you start to get the oaky, vanilla-y flavours out of this. I'm not getting the coconut that they were talking about in this. I don't get coconut in this beer, I have to say, but the way the woody and vanilla-y flavours come out of this is really nice actually. It just comes out a bit towards the front of the palate. If you just go in front of that kind of sort of sweet caramelly centre of your tongue, just in front of that, that's where you pick up these nice woody vanilla notes. And I will say, and like I was saying, I was complaining about these beers not being imported fresh enough. This one I think is fairly fresh. It could be a little bit fresher, but you know, I think this one is still standing up quite well. But there have been instances where it was the Sierra Nevada triple hop that was, you know, it just was. It just wasn't fresh enough, and there was one of the IPAs from America last week that I had that was just, you know, it had been sitting too long. It just lost it just lost the hop forwardness that it would normally have. This one hasn't so much, but I suspect that's because it might be a little bit stronger, and also because it's a barrel aged one, it's not supposed to be as hoppy as the regular Alai would be. That said, it could just be that great brands are a little bit quicker at getting their beers actually into the country. Because they will, what will happen is they will have to stockpile them to actually put into, say, Systembolaget, whereas when they're selling them to restaurants and stuff like that, then you know, they can just sell them straight away. So the restaurants will get them fresh, but the average Joe on the street that has to go through Systembolaget won't get them fresh. But this one has stood up pretty nicely, like I said, and I like the way that the malt base in this goes together. That's really nice, so thumbs up to Cigar City for this one. They've done a good job with this beer. I don't know if it says on the can. Canned on the 27th of July 2018. So yeah, no. So at this point in time, this beer is about 2.5 months old. The time that I'm reviewing this one for you, which is sort of getting towards the end of when, you know, usually about 3 months is the most that you're going to get out of an IPA. So yeah, it could be a bit fresher, but at this point in time, I would say it has stood up fairly well. You know, they should be getting this beer to you within a month, I would say. That's one of the and that's one of the things that these import companies in Systembolaget need to work better with. I've said that in a few videos now. But yeah, on the hoppy side of things then, back corners of the palate, there's a teeny little bit of earthiness there. But as you come further forward along the sides of the tongue, that smooths out and you just get a nice, slightly spicy, floral aromatic note to this one. You can feel that. That'll be from the CTZ combination in there. The Columbus, the Tomahawk and the Zeus, they give you this nice, spicy, floral aromatic note. You can just pick that up on the front kind of corners of your palate, then round the very front curve of the palate, it's just a little bit lighter and grassy, and then behind the front curve of the tongue, you've got that nice, juicy, oily bubble where those fruity, juicy esters are coming out of this beer. Just towards the back of that, that's where you're getting the grapefruits from the Cascade, and in front of that a little bit you get the passion fruits from the Simcoe, and then there's the nice juicy oranges in there from the Amarillo as well. And as you go further and onto it, towards the front of the tongue, that's where you get the lemony notes from the Centennial and the Motueka. There's a lot of fruity qualities to this beer, and the juiciness that it has mixes well with the sort of caramelly notes and the vanilla oaky kind of flavours that you're getting from the malt base in this. This is one of these beers where it's all about how the flavours combine together, because it's got quite a lot going on in it. It's one of the more complex IPAs that I've had over the last little while. I would be very curious to try it within about 2 weeks of its canning, because that's when it would really kind of be kicking off. I would definitely say that about this beer. But yeah, I do like this one. I certainly wouldn't hesitate to drink this again. I think it'd be really nice to try it on cask, or on keg rather, whatever they say in America, basically on tap. I think it'd be really nice to try it on tap, because the mouthfeel would be even more oily than it already is. But yeah, solid beer this, and one of the more complex IPAs that you're going to come across. This one is kind of convincing me that you can get away with barrel aging IPAs, because as I said in the last one that I did, the Barrel Runner, which was a rum barrel aged IPA, I wasn't convinced by that, but I have had one from Japan before, which was the Far East by Tamamura Honta and Shiga Kogen beer, and that was really, really nice. This one, I have to say, is convincing me that you can do this style more as the Japanese one did. So yeah, I need to stay open-minded to that a little bit. In terms of the mouthfeel of this one then, I would say this is at the top end of mid-bodied, this beer. Carbonation is quite smooth, it's a big oily mouthfeel, that, and like I've said in a few videos, when it comes to IPAs, I have missed the big oily mouthfeels of the West Coast IPAs. In terms of the IPAs, you know, this one for me is a West Coast IPA, there's no doubt in my mind about that. Nice bit of hoppy bitterness. I would guess it's somewhere maybe around the sort of somewhere between 60, somewhere around 60 IBUs. I think it's fair to say it's about that. So yeah, 60 IBUs. Malt base has a good balance. A little bit of graininess in there, but mainly quite sweet, and also you get the vanilla oaky notes just smoothing it out a little bit more. Nice juicy fruit to this beer. It's pretty much got everything you would want from an IPA, but then it's got that little bit more complexity from the barrel aging, and it works really well actually. I like how everything goes together in this beer. This is definitely one, as I said, which is about how the different flavours fit together. So if you get the chance to try this beer, I really recommend that you do. I've enjoyed this one, and as I say, hopefully I can have a taste of it a little bit fresher over in America or something like that. But yeah, if you get the chance to try this one, have a go at it. There should still be some available through Systembolaget if you're watching in Sweden, and if not further afield, you've got the freedom to pick this up wherever you can. So yeah, let's leave it at that for this one. So this one was the White Oak High Alai, an IPA barrel aged at 7.5% from Cigar City Brewing Company in Tampa in Florida. Really interesting beer this. I'm glad I got to review it, and it is still fresh enough to drink here in Sweden, despite the kind of Systembolaget and importer sort of hold-ups and things that you get. But yeah, nice beer, and I'm really glad that I was able to review this one for you. So once again, thank you for watching my beer reviews. Until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Check out my social media. Let me know your own thoughts on this beer in the comments section below. Let me know what your favourite beers are from Cigar City Brewing Company as well. I'm sure I'll do more dedicated reviews to this brewery in the future. But thank you again, and I will catch you guys very, very soon. Until the next time, slanted just now, and I'll catch you guys later. Skull.